can go. A live drop list.
Oh yeah, anything
First time ever.
Go. Welcome to ComicGains Live on this awesome Monday. And if you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this is Princess. Her Royal Highness doing that princess wave. You do it too. Out respect, and of course, there's the Coco dog.
Coco even made it.
Well, yeah. If you guys didn't know, we're always unscripted. We have no script. We're crazy. We're gonna say something ridiculous.
No cuts this time?
No, you can't cut it. We're live.
That's true. We are live. All right, guys. The reason we're live is we had a huge weekend. Princess just got done with her birthday weekend. And we also had Emerald City Comic Con. So we didn't find the time to be able to film. So we decided we still want to do a drop list with you guys. So let's do it live. Let's get crazy. So we won't have any of our extra bonus photos in the live edition. And if there's any mistakes, you'll get to see it, right?
Yep.
Sometimes we make mistakes.
Sometimes we
make mistakes. Not very often, but every once in a while we make mistakes. And if you're asking yourself, what is the drop list and what am I doing on this Monday evening? It's kind of Monday. It's Monday evening already. Yeah. The ComicGains crew gets together every week and we scour the internet for trending lists, hot lists, any kind of speculatory list. We figure out which of those books has gone down in price a year later, and we compile this top 5 biggest drop to smallest drop. And if you stay to the end of the show, the Slab Master, Zach of all Zachs, will give you his honest opinion on which books you should save and which books you should throw in a dumpster. Mm-hmm. And because we just got back from the con, we wanted to share a couple of nice pickups and really showcase a brand new artist that we came across that maybe everybody should know about. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah. You know what else everybody should know about?
Okay. Yeah, I gotta show you guys
what the drink of the day is.
Yeah, I found this cool place. Some of you might have heard of it. I won't say what until a later date. But they always have new drinks. Some of them good, but some of them not so good. This is Sonoma Sparkling Mango Organic Flavored Sparkling Water. It's organic sparkling water. What is that? Okay, that's what it looks like. It has 0 calories, of course, 12 fluid ounces, and sadly no booze.
No booze. Is it good?
It barely tastes like mango.
Yeah, but that's what it's supposed to be, right? I like sparkling water.
I like mango.
Yeah, but it's too sweet, then it's got to have the fake sugar in it. Let me say hi to some of our friends that are up in the house already. We got Nathan Ralph. How's it going, Nathan? Las Cruces from New Mexico. How's it going, buddy? Sharky Marky from Canada in the house. Thomas Cass. What's up? Ciro. How's it going, Ciro? Milton Miller. How's it going? Woo! And the name change. Hola, as always, name change. Princess is here too. Don't forget to crush the like button, guys. We have Princess wasn't here when we were coming up with the thumbnail last night. She had to unfortunately work at the con last night until like 11 o'clock p.m. or something. Me and Zach were fresh asleep in our beds, but we came up with the thumbnail. And there might be a chance Princess could cosplay as Red Monica. We would need to get 100 likes on the show, and someone would have to figure out a way to get that gold Battlechasers butt tattoo for her. Not permanent, but you can order a fake tattoo, right?
I think so.
If anybody figures it out, so definitely do the cosplay. So there's the 2 stipulations that go along with it.
Now, a lot of people
we didn't ask her about this ahead of time. So
yeah, someone mentioned something about that. I think, oh, Empowered. If you did Empowered also.
Oh yeah,
that's on the list.
Empowered would be good.
Empowered would be cool.
All right, guys. Woo! Oh, just a update as well. See, we're live, so it can't like flow as easily. But just an update. ComicGains will be back on Whatnot this weekend, so it's our once a month extravaganza. You want to make sure you're there. We got crazy books. Zach's already shown me his half of the lineup, and it's insane. And Princess is gonna lead the show off for our Whatnot Gains show. She's going to start off at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and then we will be on at 5. So make sure you guys bookmark both of those shows and get ready for the killer deals. All right, guys, let's kick off this drop list. What are my powers? Exactly. Number 5 on the list. We got Something's Killing the Children. Number 6. Now, number one was on last week's list. It must have been hot last year because again, this list was littered with Something's Killing the Children. That sounds kind of weird saying that, but this is number 6, 2020. Werther Del Adera and James Tynan IV, same as issue number 1.
Oh.
And yeah, this surprisingly least amount of drop. I kind of thought this would have been a little bit higher, but this is one of the major keys. One of 3. There's 3 pretty big books that are the cover A's. Obviously, there's a whole bunch of variant covers that are really expensive and they'll blow your mind whole. But if you're looking for cover A, this is one of the top 3. First appearance of Aaron Slaughter, who is a major character. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know already, he does meet his demise pretty quickly in the story, but he gets his own storyline. He's the main character of the House of Slaughter, so it's kind of cool. And Cecilia Slaughter as well. And the reason they all have the last name Slaughter is they are part of the House of Slaughter, which is the house that not Jessica Slaughter. Erica Slaughter, yeah. I always want to call her Jessica. There is a Jessica Slaughter.
Yes.
But they all are part of this house that kills the monsters in that area. Art G, what's up, brother? Yeah, so like I said, this is the 3rd most expensive cover A Something's Killing the Children book that you can get. I believe number 1, and then there's like number 5 is number 5 is really expensive for some reason. I like this cover better than number 5, but it's also a really low print run. There was only 14,365 copies ordered of this book, which is really low for 2020. I can tell you, this is right before Princess got into it. I think like issue 7 came out, and then I remember she all of a sudden told me and Zach about this book, and she started picking up the copies. She was lucky enough to find one still on the rack, which was pretty cool. But just like last week, we got the Netflix deal came through. They hired a writer to create the show last year. Obviously, we haven't gotten much new news with that, with the writer's strike, actor strike. That kind of like, calm things down a little bit. So we'll see where this goes. Zach will definitely hit you with the numbers, but I have a bolo for this one as well. There is a 1 in 25 Jenny Frison cover that's limited to 500 copies, which is pretty awesome for this one. Pretty expensive. There's also a 1 per store version that is a little bit on the cheaper side for this one too, which has like the same cover as cover A, but it's like a virgin 1 per store. And I'm wondering if it's cheaper because there's actually like more than 14,000 stores, right? There's somewhere around like 20,000 comic stores or something like that. Something they estimate. So if they gave 1 to every store, there might actually be more of that 1 per store than cover A, which is that's what I was thinking in my head. But also, there's a Dan Quintana, which is included in that David Mack pack in the 6 through 10 bundle, but I think it only came out in the San Diego Comic-Con pack. That book's really expensive too. I didn't know about that, so that's kind of crazy. A lot of people didn't really get those David Mack packs. So if you got the San Diego Comic-Con one, you got the hookup, right?
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, is it a good time to buy this book, Zach?
Well, prices a year ago, it was upgraded from slaughter to entirely a great amount of genocide at $120. That's probably not the best word ever. $120 kid genocide. Basically, jeez.
There won't be anybody left.
$120 for a CDC 9.8, and now it's been downgraded to just kids playing in the park, nothing much happening, at $100. Range $51 to $175. Average sale is $99. I did not think this was a $100 9.8 book. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. It's a great cover, great first appearances, and a Netflix show is coming out. So come on, it shouldn't be a $100 book. There's 571 total graded. 422 of them are 9.8. So that kind of explains a little bit by the lower price, but still $100. It's 74% of total graded. Oh yeah, it's a 17% drop. So it hasn't dropped a lot, but I'm pretty sure this was like probably a $300, $400, maybe even a $500 book at one time.
Yeah, at least over $100 in raw. Back in 2020, the end of 2020. Trace, how's it going? Welcome in, and Alfred, how you doing, Alfred? We definitely had a good time at the con, and I think there is a She-Hulk hip-hop book. Yeah, Princess would definitely know.
So it's at least dropped. I'd still consider it to buy.
Definitely, Milt, definitely. Especially at only 14,000 copies. somewhere when the show comes out, if it's good, the supply will not meet the demand, I would think. May go back down, but you never know. All right, number 4 on the list. We got a little bit of an older book, Daredevil 183, 1982. Frank Miller cover, Frank Miller artwork, writing. He did both. Frank Miller did a lot on this book. It's actually a really good Frank Miller cover.
And Frank Castle on the cover.
Exactly. And this is the first battle between Daredevil and Punisher. And it's a really dope cover, really dope book. It's actually a gift from a friend of the show. Thank you, Anthony, for giving this to the show. We will cherish it forever. Obviously last year they announced John Barenthal would be back in the Daredevil series. Obviously that whole series has gone crazy. It's supposed to be like this really long 24 episode Born Again Disney Plus series that got thrown in the dumpster, thrown in the trash. And now they're like, okay, now it's going to be like shorter, 10 episodes. Now they're saying it's going to be Daredevil season 4, which is what I always wanted. And they brought back all the cast. So it's cool. One way or another, it's going to happen. I really enjoyed when they first met up in season 2. I'd say season 2 is probably my favorite season of it. Season 1's really good too. But I just love them fighting together and, kind of the way they interact is just perfect. Charlie Cox, John Barron, top of their game actors. And if you're wondering, in this storyline, in the actual comic verse, it's kind of crazy. Like somebody's like selling angel dust to kids, and they have a different way of dealing with it. Obviously, Daredevil wants to like capture the bad guys, and Punisher wants to kill them, and it kind of runs into the same thing. But interesting nonetheless. So cool book. This kind of like wraps in a whole bunch of cool stuff that all happens together, like Daredevil 181. Death of Elektra, and then right after that you got 227. Kingpin finds out who Daredevil is, so it's right in the middle of all these great books. Coco's digging on the carpet again. For some reason, she likes digging on that carpet. And keep in mind, there's a Mark Jeweler version of this book, and surprisingly, for some weird reason, they already made a facsimile of this. I don't know why. It's cool, but whatever works. Coco, get over here. All right. More importantly, though, it's kind of a nice minor key. Is it worth getting, though? Yeah, I've seen these meetups were really hot a couple years ago. Are they still hot, Zach?
Well, price a year ago, it was a man without fear versus the person that puts fear in a man. At $295 for a CGC 9.8, that's pretty good for a Copper Age minor key. Now, Punisher's wearing a clown nose. He's putting fear into nobody. Daredevil was not impressed. Nobody is. You can buy it for $200 and then laugh at it.
That's still pretty expensive.
It is kind of still.
Yeah, 200. Yeah. Still a good price for a book like that.
Range $150 to $475. Pretty high there. Average sell $304. Anyways, it's a 32% drop. Don't ask why I laughed. There's 2,803 total graded. 572 of them are CGC 9.8s, and that hits right at the sweet spot of 20%. 25 is the high, 20% perfect. Anything lower than that gives a good chance of it going to get those gains. So it's going to come in phases. Same thing with artists and all that. Battle covers are always going to be hitting and then going down, hitting, going down. But they're overall, they're always going to be in the end up. So this would be a fantastic book to get at a $200 price range. I mean, if you can get the $150 amount, definitely do it for sure. $200, a little higher, but you can still probably swing it. It's not a bad book at all. Not a bad book.
One of the things I'm glad that became keys was like first meetings or first battles are cool. Despite we want to think about second appearance or third appearance or Zach's least favorite, origins. Or death of. This is one of those Zach hates death of and origin.
Because the death.
Hey David, how's it going?
I'll explain it real quick. The deaths, they never stay dead unless they kept in Marvel. And origins
in peace.
Always gets retold like every 5 or 10 years it seems. The origin of Johnny Storm. The death of Johnny Storm. Suddenly he's back alive and he has another origin. What the heck? Or there's another version of Johnny Storm in the Ultimate Universe. And he has an origin too.
Exactly.
Anyways.
Exactly.
Decent book. Decent book.
All right. Okay, guys, number 3 on the list. We've got Battlechasers number 1,
Woo.
the gold
I just grabbed
edition.
that fast.
We got a variant on the board here. 1998.
Hey, Paul.
Joe Madeira, drawn by Joe Madeira, written by Joe Madeira. You got some double duty action again. And if you guys aren't super familiar with Joe Madeira, I kind of looked up some things that he's done. He actually did all the artwork in Deadpool Circle Chase too, which is cool. I didn't know that as well. This is first appearance of Red Monica, and this is the rare Another Universe variant gold foil butt cheek cover. Butt cheek cover. And yeah, I mean, this is kind of a whole cool deal with this book. Obviously, last year they decided to finally complete the run. I think they did issue 10, 11, 12. I think it went all the way to 12.
I think so.
I believe it may have only did 10, 11. I know it at least did 2, but it may have done 10, 11, and 12. And I personally have never read this book, so I may put Zach on the spot and ask him to give you a synopsis of it. But some stuff that I looked up was interesting. Did you know when this book came out, it was almost 6 months in between each issue?
Oh, I didn't know
it was
that.
stat backlogged. That like every time an issue would come out, between issue 1 and 2 was 6 months. And crazy enough, between when it got to issue 7, it was 16 months in between 6 and 7 to get them out. And it was such a headache for Joe Madeira. He left the industry after that and became a video game designer, which is why this video game came out for the game Battlechasers, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I heard the game's really great too.
Yeah, but he kind of came out with that whole, like, when they did the whole Cliffhangers group, you know, when they had like J. Scott Campbell and Humberto Ramos, and they had like all the sexy ladies back in the day in like the 90s, the late 90s.
Oh,
wow. But what's the book about, Zach? What's it about?
It's been a while since I read it.
Hey, Paul.
But it's essentially this girl running with this glove that I think her father gave her, and the glove gives her powers. And a lot of people are after her. I can't remember. There's like wizardry, and also science. And of course, there's a hot girl with a big butt in there. I mean, right there, Red Monica, and I remember.
Thank you, Tim.
When I read it, there was a lot of suspense. There was a lot of action. There was a lot of not jump scares, but there was a lot of like, suddenly this happens, suddenly that happens, suddenly. It was a fun read. I think I actually only read up to issue 6 or 7, if I remember correctly. I actually bought it in my first ever collection. I bought with my mother.
There you go.
My first collection was about. We wanted to make some money, so it was kind of fun. This is like when I was, I think, 15 or 16.
Yeah,
I was pretty young.
From what I read, it basically lays out exactly like a video game. Like it's like, I think it's five or six different people with all different set of skills. Like she's a rogue, you have like a wizard, you've got like a knight, and they basically all get pushed together in a quest, and they basically have to like go through and fight in a quest, which sounds exactly like a video game to me. So kind of works out perfectly, right?
What were
Jax needs a little sun.
What you were gonna say, Davy Carr?
No, he said he lived in the Northwest.
No.
We need some sun.
He retracted what he said. What did you say?
I read it. I just told you.
What? No. That was the other thing.
No, I read it.
But God, he glows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I glow.
Do
they can see me from outer space, guys? The aliens have came down.
But
asking what?
More importantly, is it a good time to buy this book, Zach?
Step aside from it. Yeah. They were battling, they were chasing, just like chasing after girls. You do it a lot, have a great time, make a few enemies sometimes. A year ago, it was selling for CGC 9.8. Was a cool $500 for the gold foil variant.
Woo!
And then now you find out it's fool's gold. But it's fool's gold on the butt, so I'm okay with it. At $330, it's dropped down to. Range 220. Would love to get that deal to as high as 600 Average sell is 410. It's a 34% drop. There's only 165 total graded. Only 61. Yeah.
Holy what?
Only 61 of them is a CGC 9.8 universal.
Wow.
That's only 37%. Still, like, that's a little higher than the 25%, but there's hardly any graded. But if you find one, you have a good chance of getting a 9.8. So keep an eye out for that. Yeah, keep an eye out for that.
I didn't know there was so little graded. That's a cool fact. Yeah.
I am going to be biased on this, so take this with a grain of salt. I think everybody should go after that booty.
Yeah.
Of the character of that book. No, everybody should go after this book in the 9.8 with a gold stamp on the booty.
And if you want a cheaper version, they did a remake of issue 10. Ariel Diaz did a remake on it that looks pretty good.
Oh,
yeah.
There's also a non-foil booty, but it's less eye appealing.
No, with the gold foil.
Actually, still eye appealing, but it's not sparkling. Just saying.
All right, guys. Number 2 on the list, we've got Contest of Champions. Ooh. Number 1, but not that one. The other one. I don't know. I was going to say not the bad one, the good one, but I don't know if either of them are that good. 2015, Paco Medina and Al Ewing. This one must be a little bit better. First appearance and cover of the White Fox. And if anybody remembers reading the original Contest of Champions from way, way back in the day, I think it's like one of the original Marvel crossovers that they ever did. It had to do with like the Collector trying to like resurrect his brother, the Grandmaster, and they like made a deal with Death, and they each got to pick a bunch of champions, and they would like fight each other, and if he won, then Death would like resurrect his brother. Oh. It turned out to be a whole mess, and like they made up all these like random characters to fight that like depending on what country they were from, they kind of like their superpower or their name was kind of really derivative of that country. Kind of, it's an okay story. I wouldn't call it that good. But
Injustice.
This one in 2015 also pits the Collector and Grandmaster against each other. And they bring up a bunch of new characters, and White Fox happens to be one of them. And a lot of people be specking on White Fox. She had a lot of cool things happen with her over the past couple of years since she popped up. She was actually part of the Hot Shots team. I know Princess is a big fan of the Hot Shots. A lot of ladies on that team. She even got her own solo book and her origin story, right, Zach? Which you were a big fan of. The origin. She was also fingered in the death of Doctor Strange. Not that kind, but pointed at. You know, like, she's the one that killed the Doctor Strange. Not that. And she's even made the leader of the Tiger Division from afar. She's kind of like the Bosley of the Tiger Division. So
from afar.
Well, like there's a leader of the group that fights with them, and like she's kind of like the advisor. She doesn't actually like fights with the team. She like go take those people out over there. Like kind of tells them what to do. So anyway,
superhero landing.
She was a lot of speculation that because they were using her so much, she was going to show up in the MCU really quickly, even with like Agents of Atlas and all that stuff. But nothing ever came of it. And I can tell you this book was getting a little hot for a while and has definitely dropped down a bit. That's why it's number 2 on the drop list. There is a bolo. I think there's like 12 different versions of this cover. So, and there's so many that a lot of them don't have that much value. But if you're the princess, you know that there is a hip-hop version of this book by Dennis Cohen. And there's a 1 in 25 Lanil Francis Yu cover, which is really expensive, but I don't actually think it looks that cool. So that's just my personal opinion on that one. There's a Mark Bagley 1 in 25. Oh, I love Mark Bagley, but that cover sucks too, and it's not really worth much either for that reason. But is it the right time to spec on the White Fox, Zach? Yeah. We're a couple of White Foxes.
They're looking for combat. It was a mortal victory for somebody. Plus, Chung-Li. No, that's someone else. Price a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $117. Now, I'm trying to think of the lamest fighting game there is right now. What was it? Red Dragon? No, Twin Dragons. Twin Dragons.
It's supposed to be so lame, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's pretty lame. But Double Dragon, that's what it was. Double Dragon at $75. You double it up, but you don't want it. Not this one. Range $56 to $140. Average sales $93. It's a 36% drop. There's 300 total graded of this book. 192 of them are CGC 9.8 Universal. That's 64% of total graded. That's a lot. That's going to be hard to for it to go up in price. Someone's going to say Double Dragon's great. I don't think so.
Versus Battletoads.
Oh, Battle! I love.
They have a game, Double Dragons and Battletoads.
That one's not good. I think the character is fantastic. You want to go after one of the variants, not cover A. Cover A might control like some of the value, but I think you should go after like the hip hop one. I don't know if the 1 in 25 is a crappy cover.
I don't make your own judgment. I didn't think it was that cool, but it is expensive. So.
Yeah, I said the same thing about the Dr. Afro one, and people seem to love that book. I just prefer the Andy Granov cover A book.
There you go.
Just me.
There you go. Oh, Hayden and Justice, welcome in, buddy. How's it going? And Milt was wondering if the princess has that hip hop. That would be a yes. I think that would be. Actually, I think we have a friend that almost has all, or did get all of them. The princess might be behind, missing like what, 2, 3, more? I don't know. She never gives us a straight answer on how many hip hop.
Omnipotent. She always knows when I'm sleeping. No, that's because I snore so loud. Everybody in the house can hear me. Second one.
All right, guys. Made it all the way to the end, to the number 1 biggest drop book of the week. And that's a personal favorite of mine. Venom versus Carnage. Number 2. 2004. Peter Milligan and Clayton Crane. And this is when Patrick Mulligan, which is surprisingly similar to the writer's last name, becomes Toxin, the first spawn of Carnage. And his first appearance is actually in issue 1 as the guy, and he turns into Toxin in issue 2, which has more value than the first one. As you guys know, Carnage is a spawn of Venom, like Venom had as a baby. I guess they reproduce asexually because I didn't see him make love to anybody to make Carnage, so it just popped right out. And in this story,
Immaculate Conception,
Carnage does the same thing, pops out another baby, and it makes Toxin. And Patrick Mulligan is a villain, so he's an evil guy. He gets the suit and wreaks a bunch of havoc, and they have to like fight him. I don't think they actually like team up. In fact, I've been told everyone likes this cover because of this series a little bit because of the very cool Clayton Crane cover. But I've been told the artwork inside, actually, I looked at the artwork inside's not that good. The story's only okay. This is that weird time of comics in like the early 2000s where like the writing wasn't very good and nobody was really buying comics, so it's kind of a strange time, which is why a lot of these are expensive because people weren't buying them. So there's not that many out there. And, that's just a strange thing. But this book got hot because in the Venom Let There Be Carnage movie, they had a character, Patrick Mulligan, in the movie. So everyone was anticipating like, Toxin could be in this. And like, they kind of hinted that Carnage may have left a spawn like behind. I think it's kind of like, would be a bad thing to have the next movie be like Venom fighting another spawn, like let him fight somebody else. Let him fight Spider-Man. Like all the movies he's going to be fighting another symbiote. So hopefully that doesn't happen. That's probably why this book took a huge drop. On a brighter note, if you're up to date on your comic reading, Toxin has recently merged with the son of Patrick, who is Bren Waters. So there's actually a younger boy. He's like in his teenage years that is actually now the host of Toxin, and he's actually good. So, or sort of good. He might not know to turn bad, but he's recently teamed up with like Dylan Brock and Red Goblin, who's like the son of Harry Osborn. So it's like 3 young boys that all have symbiotes that could kind of create like a new team. I know there's too many teams going on, but it seemed cool for a little bit. They kind of teamed up together and kicked some butt. Surprisingly enough, there are no variants to this book. It doesn't even... No, not one variant at all. This is the only cover. I don't even think there's a newsstand version of this book at all either.
So.
Yeah, strangely enough. But has it dropped far enough for you to get it, Zach? Huh?
Well, it was wreaking, as Adam said, havoc or Rampaging, or what's other name? Screaming Mimes a year ago. There you go. At $288 for CGC 9.8. Now you can pick up for 150. Range 138 to 288. Average sales 224. It's a 48% drop. There's 752 total graded.
Whoa, that's a lot.
219 of them are CGC 9.8.
That's not a lot.
And it's about 29% of total graded. So with this book, I do think it has potential, but it's going to be a long time before they bring in another spawn of Venom or Carnage. And I think they have to build up the universe for it to be a good idea as of right now. So if you like the book, if you like Clayton Crane, if you like his Infinity signature, you might want to pick this one up. But if you don't like any of that, forget you ever saw this book. Right? It's not bad. It's not bad. And then let's say
the pick of the week,
the overall pick.
Not your nose.
I think it's a safe bet. I wish you could pick it up for even cheaper, but it's not going to happen. Something's Killing the Children, number 6. There's going to be a show coming out, for gosh sakes. It's going to go up in value by quite a bit. Has to. You know, you got Venom versus Carnage, decent one. Contest of Champions one, pretty decent. You got to get one of the variants. I don't know what those were priced at. You got Battlechasers one. I highly recommend you get that. But it might be a while for you to make some money on it. But I love the cover. You need at least one copy. Daredevil 183 is my second pick of choice.
What was your pick of choice?
I just told you.
I don't know. You named off every book that was on.
Yeah, I just want to explain it because we got some more time.
Oh, okay.
And plus, I'm not editing any of this, so I can talk as much crazy as I can.
That's the pick of the week. Okay.
Yes, Princess is holding the pick of the week. Not picking her nose, not picking my nose, not picking Am's nose. She's picking this book. No, we're all picking this book. Let's just say that. We're all picking this book as the pick of the week. And the second strong pick is not that one. Daredevil 180. I almost said Batman 183. Okay.
Second pick.
All right.
So before we wrap this show up, guys, we got back from Comic-Con. We're not gonna roll through a whole bunch of books, but there was some cool stuff that happened. Just want to say it was awesome for all the people who got to hang out with. We did get to see our buddy Lon, Lon Espinoza, who's not on at the moment, but hopefully we get to have a beer again. We were just talking about it on our way back. We're we didn't get to have a beer with him. Man. And we got to hang out with Comic Tom a little bit, and we also got to hang out with Genghis Khan, which was cool. I never got to meet him before, and Bloodhaven, which were both really big other whatnot people, but it was really fun to kick it with them as well. Let's see the books. I know. Well, maybe if we have time in whatnot, we'll show you guys some extra stuff, but just some quick stuff. Our good friend Spidey Tumbler, Jose Gonzalez, as you guys all know, told us to get a sketch from what is it, Sushi Ray?
Sushi Ray.
Yeah. And Zach did. What do you think, Zach?
Yeah, I like it. I don't have a Rogue sketch ever, and I'm glad I have one. It's very vibrant, very colorful. I like the style of what she did. Yeah, it's pretty cool. She gives you two options of sexy versus cute, chibi, I should say. And I didn't pick chibi, but chibi was pretty good too.
Yeah, she was really nice, and she's trying to get into the industry a little bit more. She does have her very first ever cover with DC, so she is published with DC. She has the Batman and Robin number 3, the 1 in 50 variant cover, which looks really cool. It's like a chibi version of Batman and Robin. But she said she's gonna possibly use this book or this sketch to try to get into Marvel, which I think she could do a good job. She was extra nice too. So if you guys ever run into her, think about getting a sketch. Mm-hmm. We won't show you. Jose got one too, but we'll let him show that on his channel or his Instagram, whatever he prefers. But his Vampirella was fire. And we also did a panel, which was cool. And we got to do a Bad Idea. I know how everyone may think about Bad Idea, but we got to hang out with Dinesh, the owner of Bad Idea Comics, and he told us about all his books, and then he gave us all a limited to 150 copies of A Good Boy, which is interesting. I don't know. It could be a really crazy book. But yeah, Bad Idea. He was really funny and nice. It was kind of interesting talking to him. It's like we did a panel with him, and it was
I
cool.
was gonna show that too.
So, hey Bueller, how's it going? Yeah, it was a good time at the con, man. And but Zach wouldn't show up. He did get we got to see Stan Sakai again, and I made sure I got a bunch of remarks, and Zach did too. On what? And you found an Albedo?
I found an Albedo #1, not 2, #1. He did work on it. It was interiors. He didn't work on the cover, but he worked on the interiors. And it's
hey
kind of
Johnny
like
Robinson.
the prototype
Hey
Usagi Jimbo. So other cool thing is the other creator of Usagi also had a signature in here. I believe it's good. I always say Gucci, but it's something called Gachi. Anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways, I got Stan to sign right next to his name and on the cover and do a remark on it. I think it's really dope. That's a very hard to find book. There is another version of this. Technically, the other one is the first print, and it's a lot darker than this. It's a lot darker cover, and darker cover than I think the face is slightly lighter. So they wanted to redo it. It didn't come out the way they thought it was going to come out. So this is the revamped version. Hard to find.
Comic Toby want to know if you cropped us at any booths, Zach. I think we did once, right? Yeah, I did that one time.
I did a lot. I did a lot. But
But if you guys are running to Stan Sakai, make sure you get the remark and not just the signature, because I did that the first time and it was like $10 more for the remark, and I'm like, why did I not get the remark?
Yeah, it's not cheap, but it's like it's so affordable for a legend like that to. I'm not crop dusting here. What are you doing? Why are you sneaking off to the side? It was for a legendary person like that helped start his own kind of thing, and had this character that was legendary with the turtles and all that. I'm saying a lot of legendary. For a half sketch like that, $60. The one slightly lower than that, $40. Both really, really reasonable, guys. If you see them at the con, you should get a sketch. It's really amazing. Well, people talking.
All right, guys, and we will definitely talk more. Show you guys some more stuff. More time, whatnot this week in between. We'll be able to get legendary day. It was a little legendary.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll see you guys on Wednesday. So we'll see you guys Wednesday for another live. You get double live shows this week,
and we're going to be on Whatnot. We're going to be coming in right after the Princess. Princess is going to start, and then we're going to come right in after, and we're just going to go crazy this Saturday. We're going to hopefully post a bunch of cool stuff so you guys, can drool and get excited for this Saturday. We're going to go crazy. Crazy. Again, crazy. Gallagher crazy.
Yep, exactly. All right, guys. As always, do all the fun YouTube stuff for us. Help us out with the like button right now and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think about the drop list this week. I thought it was a good one. Some good stuff this week. And it's interesting doing it live, but it's actually kind of fun as well. I like interacting with you guys during the show. Very, very interesting. And yeah, get that Something's Killing the Children. Number 6. Oh, Prince is already stealing the book. And Zach, you got anything else?
Yeah, you guys share. And how you do that? You have to be a man in a city, going aisle to aisle, road after road, and each road you eat a bean burrito, and you leave something behind. This is Fart Man in the City, Part 1. Enjoy the show.
Part 2. Don't forget, guys.
I get those gains.
100 likes and the gold tattoo. Princess will cosplay. So we'll see how that's 2 stipulations, but it could work out. Doesn't have to be no real tattoo though, right?
No, it doesn't have to be a real tattoo. I mean, if she wants,
someone
donates $1,000, she might do it.
Woo! All right, guys. Glad we got to see everybody. Hopefully I said Nuck-Tech. I saw you in there, Nuck-Tech. How's it going, buddy? We will see you guys all on Wednesday, live again.
Get those gains.
Get
I'm trying to do that voice, the in the city.
Far away. In a world.
A man tried to do the voice, and the princess tried to steal. Uh-oh. Yeah, you didn't hear that. Later, gainers.